Dear Depression, first and foremost, kindly fuck off. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'd like to address your rather displeasing relationship with my friend Brain over the last 8 years. I'd like to say right off the bat that it is not in good taste to advise my friend Brain to write angsty song lyrics on our Facebook profile. This was not therapeutic and was kind of isolating because we all know the other kids in middle school did not have as good of taste in music as you did. On a more serious note, it was not appropriate of you to advise Brain to offer up her life to God so that some girl in Africa could be saved instead. Maybe. I suppose if things actually worked that way, then it would have been worth it for the 12-year-old Brain, but she was so lost and impressionable, and from that moment on, she had been stuck in your stony embrace. Sometimes I think you crushed every ounce of the sobbing 12-year-old's ambition. She was smart and lively and loved people so fiercely, and you took that away. I will never forgive you for that. Let's talk about Brain's 14th year, when you were a mere 2 years old. I'm disgusted and appalled about what you said to her and made her do. She told me how you whispered in her ear about how Native Americans used to cut themselves to let the bad spirits out. It was the equivalent to sweet nothings that she so desperately wanted the pretty girl with green eyes from math class to whisper. That was not the same thing. You told her that being gay was a choice and her fault and that God had abandoned her. You made her think that she needed to bleed just to make sure that her blood was the same color as her straight friends. She had to see that gay blood actually isn't rainbow in color, but just a fabulous shade of red like everyone else's. You made her feel different and alone, and you locked her in a closet like Harry Potter and took away all of her magic. You cut up my friend, and I will never forgive you for that. Now, what I'm absolutely pissed about here, Depression, is when Brain was 16. You remember, a friend noticed her angry red scars and she was called into the guidance office. You held on to her so tightly in your possessive embrace that she couldn't get a word out. You stole her breath and crushed her ribs. She could have been on a road to recovery by then, but no! You were a jealous, abusive lover and only tightened her grip at the mere thought of her escape. You whispered in her ear, "She doesn't care what you have to say, and don't say anything at all or you'll be in big trouble." You put your hand over her mouth and spoke to the counselor for her and said, "It was a one-time thing and I have no intention of doing it again." All the while she was screaming behind your hand, "Please tell her! Tell her that I want to die!" But she never got to say anything. She could have been better by now, and I will never forgive you for that. I think the worst thing you've done for her was make her friends think that she was a clumsy class clown. You stole the happiness from laughter and jokes, and what you left was a broken and useless shield of sarcasm alongside a broken and useless girl. You made her a fool so you could save the other people from seeing her pain. Why do you care so much about the other people's happiness? Why couldn't you help her love herself like you did the others? You put her friends at arm's length while she numbly stumbled down the hallway and claimed cats. And there's a sharp edge on my doorway on her arms and hips and legs. You pushed her into the arms of a boy that she didn't really love for the sake of false heterosexuality and comfort, and you ruined him in the process. You took a beautiful boy and you ruined him for your own selfish needs, Depression, and I will never forgive you for that. Also, you asshole, you made her wear sweatshirts to cover her arms like the majority of high school, and it's something she's never quite grown out of. She could have had such good style. I will never forgive you for that. On your 6th birthday, when Brain turned 18, she had just begun her freshman year here. Instead of showing her all of the possibilities she had here, you locked her up in her tower. If you can call Sheehan a tower, and waited until 2 a.m. every day to ask her to let down her hair. And like a very sad, less magical Rapunzel, she did. After some time, she couldn't take the ruthless tugging at her hair that started early in the morning and didn't stop until she passed out from exhaustion. She decided she wanted to be free from you once and for all. She told me she was so sorry when she took the pills, and even now she tears up a little bit thinking about the 18-year-old that didn't think once about throwing up the pills she'd swallowed. The pain you caused her left her a heap in her bed for a day and a half until she woke up to the cloudy Winona sky with nothing but a sore stomach and your stony arms around her again. You welcomed her back in, and she ran hurriedly into your protection. It's hard to leave an abusive lover. You called her back after she had proven so many times that she didn't want you anymore. I will never forgive you for that. Her 20th year and your 8th marked the first successful turning point for Brain. She had taken enough of your beatings and your whispers of uselessness and your abuse and finally decided to find someone else. She gradually learned how to be alone without the desire to invite you over, and she finally stopped reaching for you at bedtime. She still has problems opening up to people. She still hears the memory of your voice saying, they can't actually care about me, why would they? And just save them the trouble of pretending to care. Thankfully, she's learned. Thankfully, she's discovered that there are liars in this world and that you are the biggest one of them all. She's learning. She's wrapped herself around a new lover. Her name is Hope. She is warm and kind and understanding and everything you are not. Sometimes Brain still gets urges to run back to you, to which Hope gently coaxes her to look in the mirror and say things like, you deserve love, and you matter. I would like to thank you for one thing, Depression. Without you in her life, she would have never met Hope. She would have never appreciated the happy days she gets to experience without you, or the people she can empathize with because of her relationship with you. Thank you for letting her go.